Welcome, everyone, to Sustained Ability with Ben Thomas. This is a production that is happening every Friday. How about every day at live at 5 Central. We are so happy to have Ben with us and having these amazing conversations. Today happens to be Threading Thursday, so I'm going to pass this on for Threading Thursday in Sustainability. Over to you, Ben. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Sue. I really appreciate that amazing intro. And welcome to Thread Thursday. So this is Sustainability, streaming live. So today we open the doors back up and look entirely outward. On Monday, we checked our finances. On Tuesday, we fixed our tech friction. And yesterday, we secured our physical stamina, stayed rooted in our vision. So today is about the human fabric of our operations, and we call that network weaving. So let's fix the biggest mistake amateur founders and builders make when they network. They spend all their time hunting for individual customers one by one, and that is a slow, exhausting way to build an ecosystem. So high performing operators look for ideal referral partners. An ideal referral partner is not a customer, it's an adjacent business, organization, or leader who already services the exact same audience you want to reach, but offers a non competing service. So when you align with one correct referral partner, you don't just gain a single client, you open a permanent pipeline to their entire community. So really think about who is an adjacent professional or organization that handles the same crowd that you do. And if you're taking notes, write that down. So think about who's already holding the attention of the people you want to serve, and those are the relationships where you need to put your focus today. All right, so we're going to talk about the logic of givers gain and some community ideals. So now, so how do you actually talk to your partners? So most people ruin networking because they're desperate. They treat every single contact like an immediate sales pitch. They show up to a meeting thinking, how do I close this person right now? So you don't want to move forward with that transactional mindset. You want to kill that. So it kind of smells like desperation and it destroys trust immediately. So we operate on a completely different framework. It's called the giver's game. So when you meet a potential referral partner or just anyone in general, your goal is not just transaction. You do not pitch your business. Instead, you look them in the eye and ask, what is your biggest need right now? And how can I introduce you to someone from my network to help you fix it? You lead with value and you find their friction and you solve it using the assets already sitting inside your circle. So, for example, when you talk about putting reason to our relationships and, building up, the men in our community, I want to highlight an incredible resource. Somehow, Men of Promise snuck into my my presentation today. But yeah, I'm talking about, Men of Promise support group, menofpromises.org. They're a great resource. Today is Thursday. Yeah, I'm making sure that I give them a big shout out. They're targeted to men over the age of 25. They gather every week on Thursdays from 6 to 7, to lock arms. You guys check them out. It's engineered specifically for, the older crowd. So we're going to really be pushing this nonprofit in the direction of community readiness and networking. So there's going to be a lot of network weaving surrounding that nonprofit, working with local businesses. So when an organization like that exists, you really, you got to pass a resource like that to somebody who needs it too. So anybody over 25 networking, that may be a lane for you. So try to meet me every Thursday at 6 at Hermitage. Reach out to me for more info on that at the end. Um, so when an organization um, has a similar service or, a person might have an aligned interest, make sure they just connect. That number one thing is just It's common sense. You got to make sure that you put people together who matter, and often you can really, 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 have a profitable relationship from just a glitch where you normally wouldn't even find value just by knowing somebody who needs a similar service and being able to pitch it to them. It automatically, it could be something that happens every day, but you might have missed it. But now that you're talking to them, you might see it way more frequently. So you're going to raise your odds of, creating opportunities by, kind of diversifying your network and how you think. Not everything's just about a sale. Sometimes when you genuinely show up and you're looking for people who are aligned and have a similar mindset, it's gonna blossom and grow new things that you might not even thought of. All right, so let's talk about how to get more referrals. So, the core secret of getting more referrals. If you want to receive an endless stream of inbound referrals, you must train your partners exactly how to spot your friction points. So, don't tell your referral partners, send me anyone who needs help. That's too broad and it's too vague. So, those requests are kind of going to get forgotten. You want to give them specific obvious triggers that they can listen for. You want to tell them, you know, if if you hear founders say that they're drowning in administrative chaos or that their project tracking is completely broken, that's the exact moment you introduce them into your network or your system. You may have a new program that you build inside your company that leads people to a solution and helps people, in a new way. So, like, you want to create some kind of accountability network, some kind of affiliate network where people can log in and get access to, their commission portal if you want to build something like that, or just be able to submit a lead to you on a contact us form and put their name down. But just you really want to make it accessible for them to, submit a lead to you. So by giving somebody, triggers, you make it easy for them to pass you business. They kind of look like a hero for solving a problem, and their contact, gets, their problem fixed. And then your operation expands smoothly through custom project management agreements. So that's really, it sounds like, oh, custom project. That's just having an agreement that says when somebody sends a referral, we're able to pay this much. Have an agreement that says when somebody is a referral partner, we take care of them this way. When we get a lead that is a referral, we give it, special care in this manner. And just really having an understanding about the type of people who are sending you those opportunities and what you want to do for them. All right, so here's your Thread Thursday command. So open your communications matrix right now. That means, open your calendar, your get a pen and paper, just think. All right. So identify three potential referral partners in adjacent industries. And don't just think about them, but really identify who have you met with or are going to meet with soon, and reach out to them, with, just kind of not just a sales agenda. Make sure that you're having a connection with them one on one where you can really find out what their community needs and match them with an asset inside your network and give them one specific trigger phrase to look out for on your behalf. So make sure that, you give them a call and you say, hey, what can what like what exactly are you looking for? Like, and I got, or just tell them, if you already know, tell them I got three people for you specifically in these industries for you, and then make sure you tell them, hey, I'm gonna need specifically blank. Like, for example, I specifically want to meet with people who are already in their first round of having several employees who are ready to hire more, and for anyone who has a scalable high ticket sales product that wants to grow that and really expand and increase their annual revenue. So those are my strong ass. And what I would do for someone else is go and bring them three contacts that are ideal for their business. So make sure you're doing that. Reach out to people and just give them a golden egg and give them, an opportunity to just meet some people, and that that positivity is going to come back to you because they're forever going to be able to refer you because you're doing something special for them. All right, so tomorrow is Fun Friday. So that's where we step up and we wrap up the week and we talk about governance, community readiness, and enforce, a hard weekend log off. So before we cut the feed, if you are a high performing founder, a leader running a social equity startup, or a humanitarian operator in the field doing real work, we want to connect. So contact me via my cell phone, 615-821-9662, and also check out my website arieljudah.com, and also uh contact us through uh thetrustedtradesman.com and apply as a guest on the Building Trust podcast. We want to get your business vetted to lock ours with our network within the Trusted Trade Hub. We're building a powerful ecosystem that's based on referrals, not simply based on our membership organization, but based on building profitable referral relationships with uh, industries of scale and companies in the trades. Let's put cold reason to our relationships and build uncompromised equity together. Um, Remember the house law: what's fun gets done. So stop hunting for sales and start weaving your referral engine. Let's execute. Let's do it. Weave that network.